Inside Tennis with the Koz is brought to you by BMW of Sarasota. Drive your dream at BMW of Sarasota.
Hi tennis fans, the Koz here with you again for another exciting half hour inside the world of tennis. Stay tuned, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Drive the ultimate accessory, like a new 320i for just $359 per month. At BMW of Sarasota, experience the ultimate difference.
Hi tennis fans, thanks for joining us on Inside Tennis with the Koz. Oh, what an exciting week it was at Lakewood Ranch with the White Sands Realty Group Joey Groton Sarasota Open. It was terrific seeing a number of the Suncoast tennis enthusiasts at Bill Romp's Play Sarasota Magazine Players Party. Had some great time with newscaster and tennis zealot Ray Collins, SNN sports anchor Trevor DeGroot, Herald Tribune tennis pundit Mick Huber, and National Sports Syndicate Doug Fernandez. It was also terrific seeing tournament director Tony Driscoll orchestrating the event and tennis director Paul Letterman in action. Congratulations to the men's singles winner, tour veteran Misha Zverev, doubles winners Fradana Argello and Nicholas Kicker, and also the singles winner of the Nick Bollettieri Women's Invitational at the Sarasota Open, Katrina Kozrov. It was a real honor to be invited to the USA Team Player and Coaches Dinner at the Mediterranean restaurant and to have a personal cameo appearance in the USTA Pro Circuit live streaming booth with broadcaster Mike Kaysen. More excitement for Sarasota's 12 and under player Nikki Yanez, winning the National Longines event at Delray Beach. And what's on the show today? Well, we got a great one, a visit to the ever-intimate ATP Tour stop at Delray Beach at the Open, and a sit-down interview with Florida tennis legendary sports writer Jim Martz, plus our Play Sarasota Magazine tennis calendar, as well as our Inside Tennis with the Koz pro tip. So let's get it launched with the Delray Beach Open. Cindy, you've covered every tournament venue in the game, women's side, men's side. What do you enjoy most about this venue at Delray Beach?
Well, because over 38 years, you get to travel a little bit and see a lot of the world.
It never wears on you, girl.
Absolutely not. You know, this
years.
is one of my absolute favorite tournaments, hands down. You know why? It's a giant teddy bear hug. It is so easy to maneuver here, to meet with the players. If the majors are those big box stores, this is your neighborhood grocery store, your little pharmacy store on the corner. And I say that with the greatest affection because you can talk to players, you can get in. Nobody is stressed here, except maybe on deadline. But for the most part, you're not stressed. And so players are at ease. There's no agents hanging around. It's a real lovey-dovey fest.
Well, you know, Dave, this was the first place I ever worked in tennis in 2006. So 10 years ago, I was a freelance writer. I was writing for tennisweek.com, and I met Lisa here in the media room, and Jane's been there volunteering. And, you know, not much has changed. In some places, that's a bad thing. I think here it's a good thing. You know, they do things very intimately, and the press conferences, the journalists get really close to the players, you know, really can show their personalities, and it makes for good stories. We had great interviews on Monday.
You know, I go to the US Open, I go to the other venues, but this venue, everybody is like family. So I really enjoy being here because everybody, you know, calls out, they say, hey, we enjoy ourselves, we go up in the stands, we have a good time. That's what I enjoy most about this venue.
Well, I enjoy this venue, first of all, because I come out to help with East Coast Tennis Foundation volunteering. And the Kids Day is such a great thing. So I love volunteering and helping out with that, with all the kids that come out that day.
It's been amazing. I mean, we've been partnering with the Delray Beach Open for many, many years. And it's a great opportunity for us to let people know about our event when the event is coming up, inform them about what Chris Evert Charities is actually doing, and just have some fun out here and let people know about the event, the charity, the good things that we do.
Bill Norris, 35 plus years on the ATP, taking care of everything from ingrown toenails and broken backs along the way.
Sure.
How more healthy are generally the players today than they were 35 years ago when you first started looking and working with them?
Well, I think they're a lot healthier in the fact that they are the beneficiary of a lot of sports sciences and more research that we've found out about players in prevention and treatment and ongoing therapy.
Well, Jay, you were #1 in Florida in the men's 55s. Now you're playing a game with a paddle instead of a racket. What's turning you on about this game of pickleball?
It's so much fun. It's so fast. The game itself is fast and exciting. A lot of quick volleys. You feel like you're the Bryan brothers out there playing pickleball. You have 4 people at the net and you just bang the ball at each other, and it's fantastic.
As a player and now as a broadcaster, you've seen every venue out there. What do you personally enjoy about Delray Beach Open? What do the players like about coming here? What are they getting here that they may not get at every tournament?
Well, it's a very familiar environment. You tend to see the same faces, the same volunteers. It's an intimate atmosphere here. And the tour can be lonely. So any week like that where you see familiarity, you recognize people, that's going to help.
Noah Rubin, 2014, you win Wimbledon. Not bad. You win the USTA National Clay Course. You win the National Hard Courts at Kalamazoo. You go to college. Wake Forest, All-American right off the bat, singles, doubles. Finish finalist in the NCAAs. What has that success story done for you on the Pro Tour? How much confidence do you draw from that?
I never really lacked self-confidence, but it definitely helped throughout my career. I go back to those matches. Obviously, the finals of NCAAs was a tough match for me. Up a set in 5-3, but you take all those experiences.
I don't look at it that way. I look at it as a finalist.
Well, I appreciate that, but you take all of those experiences and you put it together, and it takes you to where you are now, and you use that throughout the match.
You never lacked confidence. Were you born with that? Did you develop that? Was that supported by family?
Well, it's probably my parents telling me how great I am at everything I do, which that was a complete lie. But you just you go in every match and you can take down whoever it is, no matter who's on the other side of the net, and you just hope for the best.
Well, I grew up having this dream of playing these tournaments against guys like Steve Johnson, who are ranked in the top 30 in the world, and so obviously I hang on as long as I can. I try to stay in shape, I try to practice, try to get better. Even now that I'm a little bit older, the biggest part for me is to stay healthy, obviously. And every year I think about it and I'm getting old now, but every year I feel like, I'm ready to do the preseason and start a new season. So as long as I have that feeling, I keep going.
Fred Solly, great to see you. This event means a lot. I mean, this is in your blood. You've been part of this program for decades. What does this tournament mean to you?
Well, it's just a great thrill to come back and see Mark and Ivan Barron, see what they've done to the tournament here. I was instrumental in being Mark's partner when it all started off, and it's come a long way since then. And with the support of the Delray Beach community, everything is looking pretty rosy at the moment, and it's great to see they've got a terrific field here this year. It's a pleasure for me to come back here and still be part of it, to come and see my old mate Mark, and he gets me a ticket every now and again, and I have to valet park, and I'm in good shape,
Fred, you go 24/7 at the U.S. Open, 24/7 at the Oz Open. What are you eager to share your viewpoint of the game of decades ago with today's game, sharing with the audience?
It's very different now, and it's very different in many ways. They talk about the rackets and the strings are the main thing now, and the prize money. I don't begrudge the prize money. It's what the market will bear these days. But nowadays you get for the Grand Slams, it's a lot of money to get into the Grand Slams now. But I see the game still progressing, and I enjoy being part of it. And I just enjoy doing the commentary. I'm 77 years of age, and some people think I'm far too old to be doing the commentary, but I love it, and I still do the 4 Grand Slams and the Hopman Cup. And the Hopman Cup is something very special to me because I've been doing that for 20-something years now. But the television has lasted about 39, 40 years this year, so I'm getting along in the tooth there, Koz. It's just about done.
Well, Jimmy Arias, you're doing the pre-match. Well, how important is that to handle them correctly so that they're not psyched out?
It's not easy, actually, to do the pre-match interviews because you don't want to get in the player's head. You don't want to have any bearing on the match at all. I did one time in Indianapolis, in the doubles final of Indianapolis, mess up one of the players because that was in the day when you would interview after the first set. You were allowed to interview and the guys would put a headset on. And I said something because I didn't have another question. I asked one, I didn't have another one ready. And I asked Scott Lipsky, which he still complains to me about it. I said, you guys you've served 93% first serve percentage, blah, 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 something about how great he'd served. He then lost serve first game of the second set, immediately missed all his first serves, and has blamed me for losing that final ever since. And this is just a great event, a very relaxed event in some ways. You've got some of the big names, some of the top players, along with sort of some guys that are trying to break in, and it's fun to watch those type of matches. And this year it's been especially fun for me because Del Potro making a comeback, and he can't really hit a backhand yet, and he still found a way into the semifinals. It reminds me of the 80s. Here's a guy with a real weakness, but he's trying to hide the weakness. He's hiding it pretty well, and the other guys aren't able to get to it. Nowadays, everyone's so good. Every ground stroke is perfect, it seems. Finally, we got a guy with some flaws, and he's still finding a way to win.
Rajim, 8 months ago, your favorite city was Newport.
Yeah.
What about Delray Beach? Where's that standing these days?
A close second. I got 2 titles in Newport, so I got to get one here first. But no, I mean, look, it's been great out here. It's a lot of fun, a lot of crowd support, for us Americans, and it's just it's been a great run so far.
I know you will not be humbled if I say you certainly have paid your dues. Now, the paychecks are coming in, not dollar signs, but rewarded with progress in ranking. Where do you see yourself going after a few of the wins that you've just had?
Yeah, I mean, we try to take it just step by step and make, shorter term goals. Every year I've tried to set goals and I've reached them so far, so I'm still working on just getting better every week.
Ken Merritt, you keep finding ways to have fun. Now you're with Krajicek, with Austin Krajicek. What are you enjoying most about this gig for you?
Well, I mean, Austin, the family's a great family, and I've known him since he was 12, 13 years old when he came to the IMG Academy, and he used to be a former Prince player, so it's just kind of a natural marriage to kind of team up together and help him out.
Everybody here wants to know, what is the driving force that keeps you going for a decade plus of striving to be number one? What is it?
We love the game. We love what we do. We love waking up, trying to get better. We love doing it together. I don't get sick of this guy, sometimes, but playing out there, matches like this where the fans, are rooting and we can feel the energy. There's nothing like it. And we know when we put down the rackets, we're going to have a lot of time to chill. So we're going to get the most out of our careers.
Yeah, I mean, if we played a small part in helping to save doubles when it was at its lowest point, 2005, I mean, that makes us really proud. We love this sport. We know a lot of people do. If we can go out there and entertain the fans and get more kids excited about tennis and doubles, then we're happy guys.
What's it mean to have 2 American finalists in this event?
It's awesome. It's so rare that it happens. So anytime we get one of those opportunities, it's pretty exciting.
Having a great run. Memphis semifinals, great run here. How are things feeling in your game, in your mental game, and your physical game out there?
Mentally I'm feeling great and physically great. This was by far my best match in the last 2 weeks.
Drive the ultimate accessory, like a new 320i for just $359 per month. At BMW of Sarasota, experience the ultimate difference.
Tennis fans, welcome back to Inside Tennis with the Koz. Jim Martz and I have worked together and known one another for decades. Jim Martz has helped me with the Fox Sunshine Network profile of Chris Evert and the 50th anniversary of the USTA Florida production and the International Tennis Hall of Fame Gardner Malloy 100th birthday production and countless ongoing media projects. Jim Martz, before we start talking journalism and tennis, let's find out some cool stuff in your life too. Born in South Bend, part of you-know-what, Notre Dame territory. What was that like? What indelible mark has that left on you?
Well, I was very fortunate to be born practically in the shadow of the Golden Dome at Notre Dame and growing up there. That's why I became a fanatic about college football and college basketball. And I can remember being a kid, the tickets were only $5 in those days. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but it was a lot of money. We couldn't get season tickets, but my dad was in business in town, knew a lot of people, and it seemed like every Saturday morning when there was a home game, I'd be out raking in the yard, and somebody would drive up with 2 tickets, and we'd jump in the car and off we go to a Notre Dame game, sometimes maybe shoveling off 2 feet of snow to be able to sit down.
Iowa was the next stop. The University of Iowa. You got your MA in journalism. All of a sudden, you're at Field of Dreams, and it's never left you, has it, Jim Martz?
No, the Field of Dreams in up near Dubuque, Iowa, which they made the book and the movie and everything about. It's a real deal. I really recommend that everybody, if they get a chance, to go there. It's a very special place, and there really is a ball diamond that you can walk onto and play for free, which I did years ago with one of my little brothers. I was in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, had several little brothers. One came with me, he was a baseball player. And I get the camera out, he's up to bat. I get bat on ball when he hits a home run into the cornfield.
Goodness gracious, did the ghost come out?
No, we couldn't find any. We both walked in there looking for the baseball and the ghost, and didn't find either.
It all started down right here, Southeast Florida, the Miami Herald. Big-time paper, big-time sports writer coming in. You didn't start with tennis, though. How did you get into the game of tennis, covering it?
I fell into the tennis beat over about 4 decades ago when there was an opening in the Miami Herald in the main office. I'd worked in the West Palm Beach Bureau and in the Fort Lauderdale Bureau. And then Bill Sheldon, who'd been covering tennis and soccer and Florida State football, left to go to work for the Miami Toro soccer team. The Herald's executive sports editor said, "Jim, we want you to take his beats." And I thought, tennis? I didn't know anything. I didn't know a baseball from a tennis ball hardly. And so I sort of fell into it. But at the time, I was also living near where Chris Evert grew up at Holiday Park. And so I figured I better learn something about this sport, and took 3 lessons from her dad, Jimmy Everett. Never forget them, great lessons. He only charged $5. That's how I fell.
The good old days there, Jim.
Yes, it was. But that's how I fell into the sport. And then you just become immersed in it. And I was very lucky to be at the time when the tennis boom was really taking off.
Silver anniversary right down the road, 25 years with Florida tennis. How did you get into this publication, and what are you most eager to share with the readers?
Well, I was at the Miami Herald 21 years and decided I'd like some new challenges, took a leap of faith and started this magazine from scratch. And we're still here doing it 25 years later. And it's been very rewarding because tennis is one of the key hotbeds in Florida and California. So I've had a chance to see a lot of great players over the years growing up, and a lot of great tournaments over the years as well.
How strong is the USTA section of Florida, the state of Florida, for a tennis journalist?
Oh, it's excellent. First of all, the USTA Florida here is the best section in the nation, but it's the great place with all the great tournaments here. The one that Butch Buchholz started that has some history right here at Boca West, that's now the Miami Open, has had several different names. It's one of the top 5 tournaments in the world. And so I've had a chance to cover all those players the last 25 years and get to write about, especially the ones who live here in Florida. And there are probably more players on the tour who at least have part-time or full-time homes in Florida than any other state.
Let's talk about those most interesting players. You covered them all, the who's who of tennis beyond Florida. Who were some of the most intriguing people that you've covered?
I would start with Chris Evert, going all the way back to probably around 1973, 74, when she's at the height of her career. And, you know, she was sort of known as like a metronome on the court. Everything would be, you know, very smooth and maybe sort of boring and all that, but she hardly would ever lose. Off the court, very down to earth, very different person. Loved to joke and tell jokes, maybe even something you might not be able to put on the air. But she was a great person, and she was very helpful to me with Florida tennis. When I gave her the news that I was going to start the magazine, she says, "Jim, what can I do to help you?" And before I could say, "Oh, you could give me $100,000, she said, "How about if I write columns for you?" And she did for many, many years.
Wow. Well, you've been around the best journalist in the game. Whom have you admired most through the years?
Bud Collins, without a doubt. He's clearly the premier tennis journalist, not only for America, but for the whole world over and over. And his encyclopedias, I highly recommend that people who really want to know the history of tennis, that they pick up one of his tennis encyclopedias that he's written. And he was helpful to me also over the years, and volunteered to write some columns for me at the beginning also, helped me get off the ground.
You just published 2 books, Macy Magic and Safe Tennis. Let's start with Macy first. What makes Rick Macy so successful?
He started from the Midwest just like I did and sort of fell in to tennis because he'd played all the typical sports, baseball, football, basketball, but went the tennis direction. He's one of the premier teaching pros in the world, and his record proves that. He coached 5 players in their formative years who became #1 in the world. Jennifer Capriati, Andy Roddick, Venus and Serena Williams, and he had a year with Maria Sharapova. And we have chapters about each of them in the book and some other interesting players that he'd worked with over the years, including one who was a singer, dancer, and player named Monique Veely. And guess who her agent was? Donald Trump.
Beautiful. Success story there, perhaps, Jim.
Well, her father was the person who was really leading her along the way. He unfortunately died very young, and her career went in a different direction, and she didn't stay into tennis. But it made for a good chapter in the book.
Safe Tennis. What is most gratifying for you in that publication? What are you eager to pass on to the readers there?
Well, to tell them the importance about how to avoid injuries, and if you get injured, what to do when you get injured. I've interviewed top people in the business in terms of fitness, exercise, and the mental part of the game. And the most important thing is preparation. I keep hearing that over and over, especially the weekend hackers. Don't just walk out onto the court and start playing. You've got to do that warm-up and preparation, and we go into great detail with photos and everything in the book.
Jim, as a tennis journalist, what has been the most challenging crusade for promoting the game that you've been involved with?
Well, right now I would say the Miami Open and keeping it going and keeping it in Miami. Its future is actually, unfortunately, in question, and it's not the fault of the tournament. The tournament is held on public courts in a 600-acre park. That's a park that's as big as Central Park in New York. It's been going since 1985, and since '87 it's been down at Key Biscayne, this beautiful island off of the shore of downtown Miami. But they want to upgrade the facilities and keep up with other tournaments around the world that draw all the top players in the world, and they're getting behind on that. Now, some people will say to me, a tennis court's a tennis court. Why do the players have to have all these other amenities? It's not just the players, it's also the fans to have first-class facilities. It's being tied up in court by the person whose family donated the land to the county years and years ago. They want it to be a passive park. That's the hang-up in getting this done.
Cover story for Florida tennis. What's out there this month?
This month we have Ivo Karlovic on the cover. He's the ace king. He's hit more aces than any other player in history.
Was it 10,000 or 100,000?
10,000, I believe. He's 6'11", and he uses that height to great success in hitting more aces than anybody else has. He has a home here in South Florida in Plantation. He's defending champion at the Delray Beach Open. and a really nice guy.
Nice guy indeed. Talk about a nice journalist guy. Jim Martz, always great to spend some time with you.
Thank you.
And you are one of my inspirations. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Koz. I really appreciate it, and we enjoy running your interviews in Florida Tennis Magazine, each issue.
Drive the ultimate accessory, like a new 320i for just $359 per month. At BMW of Sarasota, experience the ultimate difference.
Hi, I'm Maria Ross, and you're Inside Tennis with The Koz.
Welcome back, tennis fans. Thanks for staying with us. It was a major honor to be a recipient of the Jim Martz Florida Tennis Journalist Award. And now to keep you current with our Play Sarasota Magazine tennis calendar. April 23rd, USPTA Fast Four Tennis at Riverstrand with Nate Griffin. April 30th, Take Stock in Children Festival with Rob Hendrickson. May 7th, the Bangoura Junior Classic at the Sarasota Sports Club. May 14th, Longwood Run Junior Level 7 with Travis Eckert. May 21st, State Warm-Up Level 7 at Longwood Run. And also on May 21st, Sarasota Sports Club Level 6 with Sekou Bangoura.
Hello, my name is Mario Rincon, head men's tennis coach at the University of Miami. For all you recruits out there, I want to tell you that we're looking for players that love to compete, players that love to be out on the practice courts, and also players that like to put themselves on the line by playing a lot of tournaments and competing. So we're looking for players also that are mentally tough and guys that want to represent a school like Miami in the best way possible.
Tennis fans, great to have you with us on Inside Tennis with The Koz. Boy, we love our sponsors, and you will too. Stop in to see them. But until then, remember, in tennis scoring, love means nothing, but love of the game means everything. Keep alive your love of the game. Love you, tennis fans, and we'll see you right here on SNN every Saturday at 2:30.
Inside Tennis with The Koz has been brought to you by BMW of Sarasota. Experience the ultimate difference at BMW of Sarasota.